Good evening and thanks for joining us for our live coverage of Friday night football, and we are in the afterglow of an outstanding Game 2 in State of Origin last Wednesday night, won 16-12 by New South Wales.
This is the way they line up. The Dragons at fullback Brett Morris, and the wings Daniel Vito and Jason Nightingale. The centres Cole Stanley and Matt Cooper, 5'8" Jamie Sow at halfback Ben Hornby. In the back row, Bo Scott and Ben Cray, locking the scrum and jumper 17 is Jake Marchetto. The front row, Dan Hunt, Trent Merrin, hooker Mitch Rain. The interchange, Dean Young drops back with Nathan Feen, Jeremy Lattimore and jumper 18, Chase Stanley. They're coached by Steve Price.
Now their opponents, the Bulldogs, have won 4 of their last 5, playing some great football, playing some attractive and effective football. They did meet back in round 2. It was a 30-4 victory for the Bulldogs, and there is a change. At fullback, Ben Barber on the wings, on debut tonight. Brett Lane comes in for Luke McDougall. On the other flank, Jonathan Wright. The centre pairing, Josh Morris and Kristen Inu. Josh Reynolds and Chris Cooting are in the halves. A back row, Greg Eastwood, Frank Pritchard and Dean Hallertau, with Aidan Tolman, the skipper Michael Ennis and Sam Cassiano. The bench, James Graham, Martin Tapau, Corey Payne and David Stagg, and they are coached by Des Hasler.
So Chris Nannino is going to start this match. Friday night football, and it's gone down to the captain, Hornby, and he got the ball away, and taking it back was Trent Merrin, who didn't play a lot of time in the Origin, but he'll play the ball back on the 20-metre line down the Dragons' end of the ground. If there's any criticism I can level at this new complex at Wollongong, it's the fact that we haven't got any elevation, and it's almost like sitting on the sideline. But it's Ben Cray who plays the ball, and they put some troops down the narrow side, down the blind side, and they reach the 40-metre line through Ben Hornby. And they come away now to Ben Cray, and this is Dan Hunt with the ball. As Peter shows the word, the afterglow of Wednesday night. But these are 2 of our most attractive teams when it comes to measurement of fans, pro rata of club. The Dragons haven't been attractive this year at all, of course, as we find this ball going into touch, and it's going to be a Bulldogs loose head and feed.
That's a very poor kick there from Jamie Sow, straight into Chris Keating. Not played at. That's why Canterbury will get the feed after Daniel Vito tried to tow it through, but he got that one down too low. No scrum feed 38 metres out from the Bulldogs is not a bad place to get your first possession.
So this was the kick that finds us in a situation like we are. The ball not played at by the Dogs.
In fact, it wasn't Chris Keating, it was more like Frank Pritchard.
Well, there's not much difference there, really. One's about 7 foot tall and 122 kilos.
The hair colour's a difference.
The other fellow's actually got a ride in the last tomorrow at Rose Hill. But anyway, it's Canterbury with the ball now, and here is Tolman taking it up, and he was hit hard there. You could feel it. Dan Hunt over the top, rattling him up. Ben Cray was low. Here's Big Sam. Now it's gone to Big Frank, and Frank Pritchard will play the ball. 40 metres out from the Dragons' line. 2 of the big units going back-to-back there, and Ennis gets it onto Eastwood. This is something Des Hasler's been working on. Just little short passes between forwards. And it's, what it does, it sucks the defence in, and it opens it up just on the edge, and it's gone down there to be knocked, I thought, forward by Canterbury, taken by Barber. And I'm just waiting to see what Shane Hayne's going to do. He's going to give a penalty. He was playing an advantage. He's a very good referee, this fellow. Having said that, he'll probably finish up Backpage News tomorrow, but he played the advantage.
Where's the ball?
Now he gives Canterbury the penalty. They might even take the 2 here. It's called timeout.
Yeah, I think you'll find it was Dan Hunt, the St George Illawarra front rower, who went through with what was deemed illegal contact. As we retrieve a football, Michael Ennis has to travel 30 metres to get one. Must be local ball boys here. Let's get your own if you're visiting.
Don't go early. Nick, wait for his whistle. You're on the mark where you are, mate.
So they're taking the tap. They send Cassiano into them, and there comes the ball. It's come away from Ennis and gone out quickly, and Reynolds has scored. The 5-8 has scored for Canterbury. They put this human tank into the forwards around the ruck.
Sean, tackle 1.
And then one pass and Reynolds is over.
Ball comes out.
Well, it hasn't been awarded as yet. We're going upstairs to see how the ball was dislodged and came back to the Bulldogs support player. Cassiano takes it forward. It's knocked out by the St George Illawarra defence. Josh Reynolds finds it, throws a little dummy. Matt Cooper stays out on his man.
Well, just looking at it, I don't think Sam Cassiano could possibly have passed the ball. And there it is. It's got some propulsion from the Dragons, and Reynolds burrows over to take the first points of the game.
Yeah, that's all good.
So obviously, in what we've seen in only a matter of seconds, there's the try. These big men are going to cause some problems for the Dragons. So there he is. He's got the same surname as the kid from over at South Sydney. They're both playing magnificent football. Josh Reynolds is the boy we're talking about right now, though, or the young man, I should say. 25 out now and 10 in from touch for Chrisman. One little smile should pop across that face in a moment. Yes, there it is. Good boy. So here comes Chrisman in here now to convert the Reynolds try, and it's never left the mark. If you're watching Disney on Ice, could you catch that football and throw it back, please? Andrew Johns.
Yeah, to play the Bulldogs, you've got to keep your discipline. It was a poor penalty given away on the last play. As the bomb goes up, Dan Hunt with a late challenge here on the Kuno replay. Reynolds didn't like it. And then the 133 kilos of Sam Cassiano. 3-4 guys on him. Ball comes out. He's amazing, this guy, for a big guy. Watch this pre-line pass. Look at this. Look at the hands on him to get Frank Pritchard away. This is a combination which is growing all the time. Watch that, Cassiano Pritchard.
So here's the kickoff going down for Greg Eastwood now. And Greg will play the ball 15 out from the uprights down at the southern end. That's where Gus and I made our way to the commentary box. They're warming up Canterbury, and Cassiano, he's a monster of a man when he's standing on ground level looking up at him. This bloke looks big, Frank Pritchard, but he's dwarfed by Cassiano. He was flat walking under the crossbar, wasn't he, Gus? So Gus will be eating chips at the moment. We'll come back to him. Here's Tolman playing the ball now. And now it's gone away to Eastwood.
Hang on, I'm not letting that one slide. He had trouble getting under the crossbar.
I've told you before, don't spoil a good story by telling the truth. Reynolds finding the line. It's a bit like a rort. There's nothing wrong with the rort if you're in on it. And if you tell a good gag, don't spoil it by telling the truth. So it's a scrum to pack down here. About 15 out from the Dragons line.
Well, I'm suing
the chips.
I'm suing for defamation. I've got no chips in front of me tonight. So that's another lie you've told.
Well, I can smell chips.
That's Mr. Middleton.
Ben, don't come out.
It's quite dark up that end of the field, isn't it? It's like the lights aren't working at either end of the field. It's an eerie sort of dark in the ingoes.
I saw a red light over there. It's a portside marker out on the ocean. It's sort of shrouded in the dark, as Gus points out. And here's Nightingale. And Jason plays the ball now. They're back inside their 30-metre line, and Dan Hunter's with the ball. Canterbury's defence is right up there, amongst the best in the league. In fact, their second half defence is quite freakish. We'll talk about that when we get to that appropriate time. Marketo is out there in 17 for the Dragons.
And conversely, Ray, the Dragons' attack is the worst in the league. They're the only team yet to crack 200 points. In the last tackle, pass goes wide to Kyle Stanley. He kicks centre field. Ben Barber lets it go over his head. Retrieves it on the first bounce.
I think hesitate either about making the decision, Ben. He was running away with his back turned, so I guess that makes your mind up. If I've got my back turned on them, I'll just catch it and try and get back into the field of play. That's Wright, who's with the ball now.
All eyes on Benny Barber tonight, aren't they? With the injury to Billy Slater. And Origin 3 being the big decider up there in Queensland. A lot of people tipping he may well be the fullback. So some expectations, some added pressure.
Well, of course, the alternative is probably the favoured way, is to put Greg Inglis back there and just shuffle the back line.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out Darius Boyd either.
Well, there you go. Here it is with Ennis going out with a lofted ball out to Chrisman. Gee, he stepped away there from Marketo pretty easily. He's almost up to the halfway line to the Bundaberg signage on the ground. Bundaberg, of course, sponsor of a Friday night. Ball rolling down and coming away with the number 2. That's Daniel Vido, is it, Peter?
We'll go Vido.
Vido will do. So it's V-double-E. Vido. And here's Hornby. Hornby comes across, shows it. He's crabbing, so nobody really was panicking. And now it's Jamie Soward who takes the tackle. Just outside his own 40-metre line. A dummy from Rain, a dummy half. Cray tries to go through the middle, loses the ball. And it's play on, said the referee, Shane Hay. And it's picked up by Greg Eastwood, plays it right in the middle of the ground. Ennis gets it away. Cassiano's got the ball from a standing start. He's not quite as potent, but there's the ball coming out to Pritchard, and Pritchard gets it to Josh Morris, and he's there now trying to get rid of Jamie Soward. Soward finished up with the ball. He passed off the ground, and this is Lane taking the ball down the ground for Canterbury. He'll play the ball 15 metres out from the line, and they go from dummy half now. The Dogs, they'll go into touch. Penalty. Martin Square is penalised. St George Illawarra, Brett Morris is the man that's the offender. So Canterbury very alert there. Mistake by the Dragons, a mistake again by the Dragons. And Canterbury went whooshka, and they've got themselves down now in a really big attacking position. Keating gets it on. Tolman's taken down. That's a good tackle low. Dan Hunt it was. Now it's gone out wide. Here's Cassiano getting it away to Reynolds. Reynolds on to Inu. Inu will score. Krishnan Inu has put the ball down, I think.
Molly, there'll be tackle 2. Just check grounding for me, please.
Checking grounding. Referee Chris James. But it looks pretty confident that Canterbury camp as they assemble to congratulate Krishnan Inu. That would be his 4th try in blue and white colours.
Yeah, if anybody can get the football down, it is Krishnan Inu, but not on this occasion. He's lost it. And he's come out. He's scored 25 points coming into this game in 2 matches. And his body language was trying to sell it, but it's a red light. But hasn't it been a dusty start from the Dragons? Going back to their very first involvement, which was the kick from Jamie Soward. They've given away penalties, they've lost football, they've allowed offloads.
Stay here till he kicks the ball.
And they're fortunate to have only conceded 6.
Here's Morris.
Sam, now get off the
Talking Origin, as most people are, following Wednesday and leading up, of course, to the decider. I see somebody throwing a suggestion in that Brett Morris might well take the position of Aquila Uate on the wing if there is to be a change made for New South Wales. Here's Beau Scott, who's been back a fortnight, and now it's gone around from Hornby, and the head bandage is Marketo. Played back for Mitch Rayan. Here's Dan Hunt again. He's got rid of Michael Ennis once, and Ennis goes in again and tangles with him again and brings him down this time with some help. And he decided to call on Cassiano to come in and help, and he did that. And now Soward, he's put a kick straight up in the air, and they'll let it bounce, and it goes over towards the sideline, and it finds the line.
No touch there, mate. No touch. Thank you. Scrum here. Dogs ball.
Well, I was very interested when I came here tonight to see what the Dragons might do different with their attacking football, given their poor strike rate at scoring points. And it doesn't look like too much has changed in the early part of this game. In fact, there's almost a resignation about their attack that they're just going to run up and get tackled. Jamie Soward's kicking game has been abnormally poor and ineffective in the early stages. This is a team really lacking confidence by the look of it, isn't it?
All the way in, Matt.
Can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. We've got to try something different eventually.
Toyota Cup result, Dragons 38, defeated the Bulldogs 24. And that, of course, is the National Youth Competition Toyota Cup result. Dragons 38-24. Penalty goes to the Bulldogs. What's that bring the penalty count up to now?
It's 3-0.
3-0 in favour of the Blue and Whites. It's amazing what you can do with figures. They haven't won here since 2007, Canterbury. Yet they've only played once here, of course, since 2007. But of 5 games that have been played here, they've won 4 of the 5. Now, if that sounds like a sort of a conundrum, you're absolutely right. But it's true. They haven't won here since 07. As the ball spears along that back line and Barber comes into the attack, and he'll play the ball on the 30-metre line. Play over towards the Tasman Sea side of the ground. Eastwood. Did you get that email, Gus? He copied you. Now it's come out to Cassiano. Cassiano gives it to Pritchard. Pritchard to Josh Morris. This looks like another one's coming. Josh Morris goes in to score. He scored 3 in round 2. And that was a record victory for Canterbury back then. And they're in to score their second try here tonight.
Well, he's carving them, Sam Cassiano. They all look good, the Bulldogs, but the offload there to Frank Pritchard. The second man play to Josh Morris up against brother Brett. Beats him easily. Gets their second. Well, both Cassiano and Pritchard on this left edge, causing all sorts of problems.
Inu from in front, kicking it into the big stand down there at the northern end. So there it is, converted try.
I'm just wondering, Josh Morris breaks into the backfield and he's only got one to beat, which is Brett Morris. And I can imagine that these two played against each other in the backyard for year after year after year and would never have let each other get past the way they did. But here it is, he just comes to him and Brett sort of throws the arm out and never got within a bull's roar of him. And Josh goes straight past his brother and scores the simplest of tries. Nice play by the Bulldogs though. You'd know your brother better than that, wouldn't you?
Oh, there is something of an we've got a mistake here. This is remarkable from the Dragons. Whatever they can do wrong, they are. Well worked out there by Ben Barber, then it was going too long, so he stepped out the back, caught it, and come back to halfway.
Well, I didn't think they could go any further south, the Dragons, but that kick, it went too deep in a southerly direction. And so, Canterbury back on the attack. And it is with Inu over there. Jonathan Wright on the wing tonight. Now for Tolman. And they're 20 metres out again. Bit of a chant coming out of that crowd over there. And you can hear the Bulldogs. They are supreme at the moment. Inu taken to ground. Thought he was going to lose it for a moment. He's very close to the line by the tune of about 5 metres. Reynolds, left foot step, and taken by Trent Merrin. So here is Tolman, run around Ennis, goes back, finds Keating. Keating has got the ball away. It's out to Josh Morris again, and he's wrestled to ground short of the touchline by Jamie Soward. So Canterbury then on the final tackle on this set, and Keating steps around, gets a left foot raking across the ground. Nightingale has made a mistake and Inu has scored again. When I say again, that's his 4th try for Canterbury. He had one here just earlier on denied. But even though it mightn't have looked like a great kick, it's turned out to be a beauty from Chris Keating.
And that just sums it up. Jason Nightingale making a mistake. He doesn't. He's error-free. And that one, well, let's just hit him up on the right shoulder. Misjudged it. Bounced back in the field of play. Ben Barber, he was about to swoop on it to get his 10th of the season. But Kristen Inu beat him to it. And the mid-season bye continues to gather in points for his new club.
Same place as before, really. 25 out, the Reynolds try I'm referring to. And Krishnan, he struck it beautifully from here last time. I wonder what the Warriors are thinking. That's what he's got. There it goes. It's coming. It's coming. It's there. Andrew John, sideline. Are you mystified by this performance by St George?
Yeah, I can't believe it, Rabs. But have a look at this. This is like a corner kick in soccer. You see Keating gets the ball here. It's like a corner in soccer where he steps back and hits it low and hard, and then he's got his chasers coming through, looking to head the ball. But what it does, the low trajectory kick, it doesn't get the opportunity for the defensive team to protect their catcher. So he's one-on-one, and then Inu doesn't think they're playing at the Bulldogs.
Now Greg Eastwood comes shouldering his way up the middle of the ground. Just outside the 20-metre line then, the men from Canterbury with Cassiano playing it, and it's a penalty to Canterbury.
Got to roll out of there.
Penalty against the Dragon, who is Stanley, that's Kyle Stanley, and he's injured.
He's got to roll out. Look,
Well, you know, the referee, he's not a doctor, he's not to know that, but
I don't know that.
he's obstructed the play of the ball.
He can't pick up the ball properly.
No. Well, he's in the road, he's interfered. That's just an unfortunate penalty that we've got to give, mate. Unfortunate.
Well,
Okay.
you heard it from Shane Hayne, and
Maybe so.
he's reciting from the manual, from the rule book. A player, his first job is to roll away after making the tackle, and Kyle obviously was unable to do that, but Shane Hayne can't help that. Keating then finds the line.
Yeah, I think he got hit in an unfortunate area,
Well,
which will make your eyes water and you can't really move for a moment. Sure, if Shane Hayne saw he got hit, he'd show a bit more sympathy.
Tolman.
Come on, let's get quicker.
Seth Reynolds puts it down to Eastwood. Like falling off the saddle of your bike years ago. My God, it hurt. There's Ennis and back to Inu. Oh, look out, here comes Sam again. The ball's on the ground. It could be play on if they've got it. Canterbury, it would have been their ball anyway, but the Dragons have got it. Came back off one of them, and it's Brett Morris who plays the ball. And it is with Trent Merrin now. 25 out from his own line. Well, I'm just looking at the timepiece. It's just gone past the 21st minute of the game. I'm just looking at it. It's going to be a cricket score unless they do something drastic in the area of improvement. Hornby turning a ball in that turned out to be almost a hospital pass for Ben Creagh. Now Mitch Rain is starting to make some yardage around the middle of the ruck.
We've got the first change now. Lattimore is out there for Dan Hunt. You can bet your life he didn't expect it to be 18-0 when he first came into the action. Last tackle now against the Dragons.
Hornby driven into the ground by Greg Eastwood. Somebody asked the question. I heard the referee say, no, it's okay, play on. The kick from Soward, and Stanley bats it down. It came off Soward, went forward. It'll be a turnover to Canterbury because it was the last.
We are, Johnny.
So 18-0 in favour of the Bulldogs after 22 minutes of this game. Sunday football. Tigers play the Roosters at Leichhardt. At 4 o'clock you'll see the telecast. If you want to go to the game and be able to get a reasonable vantage point, I'd say you should get there about 12 o'clock because Leichhardt will be jam-packed on Sunday. Neighbouring clubs. And the Tigers on fire at the moment. What are they shooting for? 8?
Yep, we've got 7 going. 8, and every throw looks like he'll play. James Graham into the action now for Cassiano after a quarter of the match.
That was Tolman. Here's Graham. Now Keating. Josh Morris. And now to Michael Ennis, just standing and linking and giving the ball away to Reynolds. There's been a deflection. And it's been knocked back by the Dragons, so it'll be play on. I think it's the Dragons. Yes, their ball, and played by Mitch Rain. So dancing his way up is Daniel Vido. 8 metres on his own side of the halfway. Rain again. Trying to get some forwards.
Second marker.
Moving down that middle corridor.
To the side, mate. You're to the side.
Okay, well, we've seen absolutely no passing in the Dragons' possession. Now they get an opportunity to start a set of 6 at the Bulldogs' end of the field. Let's have a look at what they come up with.
Soward kicking it over into the grandstand where we're broadcasting from here on the western side. Brand new grandstand. And this is Beau Scott. He's dumped on the ground, and Cassiano just working on the outside of the right knee there. That line is the 20-metre line down Canterbury's end of the ground. Dragons attacking, and Hornby gets it away to Marchetto, who spiralled out of one, and he's still going. Now he's only a couple of metres out from the line. A little light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. Hornby. It goes out to Soward, who had to hesitate. Now Stanley And Stanley tries to make his way towards that corner, but he's pulled down there about 9 metres out and a few metres in from touch. Back to the number 6, and he's turned it back on the inside for Beau Scott. And Graham comes in over the top to make the tackle. That's where they are, just inside the 10-metre line. A kick ahead by Jamie Soward, and hands go in.
Goal line dropout.
It's a goal line dropout. It's off the Dragons.
Now, I'll give you good evidence that this is a team without confidence.
Off the Dogs, I should say.
When Stanley makes ground into the corner here, and they've only got 1 or 2 more tackles up their sleeve, the settler play off Jamie Soward is totally unnecessary. That ball should have been zinging its way back to the middle of the field with plenty of support and runners. But Soward, what's this? He makes a little bit of ground. He's got them there. They've got the whole open side of the field to attack with, and for no reason, it's a harmless handoff to a forward back on the inside before a 5th tackle option. Now, that's a team without confidence.
Lattimore. It's a good run. Kick reception from Lattimore. He's driven it back inside the 30-metre line. This is Trent Merrin. And they've got him in an upright tackle. That call for Held should have been made 5 seconds ago, to be honest with you. He had no intention of passing, didn't want to pass. To ground goes the ball, and the Dogs are with it.
Well, he got nailed there by Dean Hallertau. Marvellous defence.
Just that little incident there with Merrin reminds me of the criticism that we get from the slow play the balls. Merrin had no intention of passing it, didn't look like he wanted to pass it, and the call held could have been 3 seconds early. It's just an ill area. It's not a stinging criticism, don't think that, but if you want to quicken the game up a bit, then there's an area you can work in. Played then by Graham, and Graham not long into the game. Keating is playing good. He snaps his kick down the ground. Nightingale, can you believe he made a mistake? He did. And they scored a try off it. So in the middle of the ground, they're on their own 20-metre line. Dragons and the Dogs inside the 10.
All of them, mate, just in front.
A whole lot of yous are inside the 10, he said. Little Chris James.
I'll see you in a minute.
Dragons have been held scoreless 4 times in the first half this season. And look to be heading in that direction again as Beau Scott takes it ahead. Goes out through Lattimore now and finds Merrin on the 20-metre line. But at least they're on the right end of the ground at the moment as Rain gets a ball to Lattimore and is running strongly. He's put a little bit of zip into this Dragons forward pack. Now there's a penalty. Penalty to the St George side. Or St George Illawarra, I should call them. I keep bashing myself up over that. If ever you might wonder why they are called St George Illawarra these days, let me point out tonight, 8 of them are from the south coast. 8 from Illawarra. Here's Hornby. Hornby put down in a regimental tackle, spinning him over in midair, landing him on his back. Now they go back to the left for Trent Merrin, and Merrin runs into Hallertau, got a ball away, and here's Marchetto coming out. He's got a bit of a step on him. Here's Soward, light on his feet. Stanley for the corner, he steps and he scores. Kyle Stanley has scored for the Dragons. And you should see the delight on the fans in front of us and out on the hill. They had nothing to smile about at all, and suddenly they got themselves a try.
And it was so important for them to take advantage of a couple of penalties in a row, brought them all the way down this end of the field. And lovely work from both Marchetto and Jamie Soward with their footwork. Create something out of nothing here. Did well there, Jamie Soward. They got the defence in, and Kyle Stanley, well, one-on-one against Ben Barber, was always going to score to open their account.
So there's the try scorer for the Dragons. We were just talking about they look like they're going to be held to nil again. 4 times this season it's happened to them. It was looking like 5. That's Jamie Just a metre in from touch and 20 metres out. 16th try of his career, Kyle Stanley. And Soward has taken it way out, and it's come back and it's made it. Oh, they were betting long odds about that coming back, but the breeze is left to right, and that must have been of some help. Andrew, sideline.
Yeah, this is a bit better from the Dragons, a bit of unstructured play. But look at the players around the ball now on the Kuno replay. They gets one-on-one tackles, promotes an offload, and look at Jamie Soward change his line there. That was great play. A bit of unstructured play. Being down 18 points to 0, it's forced them to play. They can't grind away. That's a good sign from the Dragons. Don't write them off yet.
Okay, so Kyle Stanley gets the first try of the game for the men in red and whites, and George Illawarra. Ben Creagh running off his captain. Dean Young is out there now celebrating his 200th top grade game. That's him with the ball. He's announced his retirement at the end of the year. He and his dad Craig. Craig played 234 for the Dragons. And they are the second, as I said, father and son that have made the 200 milestone in the first grade level of our premiership. And the other, there's Dad, Craig, the very proud father, who of course is the manager of the New South Wales team. And the two that actually share that honour with more games are Steve Rogers and Matt Rogers. Benny Barber. 7 out from his own line. Coming off the southern end of the ground. And played down there by Jonathan Wright. Almost to the 20-metre line. There's a young man on Deboo Lane that made the previous run. Ball played by Graham, and now David Stagg is out there for Canterbury. And they're inside the 10 now, the Dragons. And that's the last thing they know. Now they're back-chatted, so he's advanced the mark.
Yeah, it was a soft penalty, late in the tackle count there to get penalised for inside the 10, and then exaggerate it with a little bit of frustrated back chat.
Bo Scott letting frustration take command of his mouth. Here's Keating, now Graham, now back through Ennis, away and on to Reynolds. Reynolds dancing, but Young makes the tackle with Marchetto. I was impressed with his footwork, Marchetto, leading up to the Stanley try.
Yeah, good young player.
Stagg. And back then for Tolman, run around Ennis, on to Keating, short for Pritchard, in to Barber. That's a hard piece of football, as the experts have told you. And eventually it's gone to ground. Big Frank Pritchard trying his art at the caper.
Yeah, it's a variation on the play they normally come up with and go out second man to the left, continue on that way. Ben Barber looking to slide between Rain and Bo Scott. Tough pass to throw.
So this scrum about to pack down the block. Sunday at 6:30, the block. The best kitchens the block has ever seen, I'm told. Don't miss the incredible kitchen reveals on the block. Sunday at 6:30. They're very costly, aren't they? A new kitchen.
That's right, Leo, Dean! Up! Come on, James, wait, go.
Here's Morris.
Let's do David and James up!
Come on, James!
James here, Frank, another step here. Hold, go.
That's Lattimore.
Release now! Here we are, hold, go.
Nathan Feener's back out there now, or is back in combat after being on the bench with Dean Young for the start of this game. And of course Lattimore. Here's Young, and he got rid of Stagg, and that's not easy to do. And players right on the halfway line. We could almost reach out and touch them from where we're calling from. And here's Feen putting a kick down the ground, and it stops. It refuses to go into touch. And Ben Barber brings it back, and that's pretty good to get out to the 10-metre line, really. Maybe the chase could have been a bit better than it was. That's with the ball. Lane comes from the Southeastern Junior club that I was wondering where they were juniors at, and I'm told they are South Sydney juniors, which is part and parcel of the Eastern Suburbs juniors basically handing theirs over to South Sydney. And here's Cassiano knocking on, not before he tried to get a couple of passes away. Now Nightingale outsteps them, and Inu comes from behind to grab him by the shirt collar and gets a penalty. Second dip against the tackler. And
Well,
he's still smiling.
This is a great opportunity for the Dragons, who on the back of scoring points have shown a bit more zest, a bit more zip. Sam Cassiano back into the action, tried an offload that wasn't on. If they could go in 18-12 down at the break, well, it's a whole new ball game for them.
Well, they're 10 metres out. There it is. Right in front of Ben Cray. Young goes in to pivot, and the ball is with Lattimore. Can they make it before half-time? Hornby getting the ball away. Maketo is with it. And again, you can see the chalk, just a couple of metres up the ground. Young, taken down by Graham over the top, and Stagg underneath. And played back to Feenan. Gets a ball away to Soward. Now they go deep. Here's Brett Morris coming in. Oh, did he knock on the Bulldog? It looked as though he did, but the referees were watching very closely. It was young Lane. And no knock on. And let's have a look at it. Down he goes. Oh, no, he's okay. He raked it up off the ground and then had a little juggle and a bobble there before recapturing possession.
I'm not sure the kick was really on. It wasn't the last tackle. There were plenty of blue jerseys around. A little bit of frustration there from Brett Morris. As Cassiano, that's a better run. He's thinking run before pass on that occasion.
Cassiano, the second period in the game has started as Keating kicks deep down to Nightingale, and Nightingale getting cuffed a bit high there, but he's playing the ball. Into it was the tackler. There's Cooper near the halfway line. Matt Cooper playing the ball. Ben Hornby showed it to Young, drifted across the ground, tried to straighten when he got to a big man that he thought might be just dozing off for a moment, but Frank Pritchard wasn't doing that. And here's Young with the ball, tackled on Canterbury's red line. Ground, as you can see, in beautiful condition. And here's Soward, and it comes back to Hornby. He passes outside, inside to Brett Morris. Then he lofts the ball down. And big Sam Cassiano, he wins the battle for the crumbs on the ground. Pritchard is with him. Pritchard, he follows Cassiano everywhere. Everywhere Cassiano is, Big Frank's following him. He's become like a shadow. Me and my shadow. Sam Cassiano and my shadow, Frank Pritchard.
Looks like he follows him to the buffet too.
Oh, that's a fair point you make.
Those big boys, aren't they?
Imagine getting invited to a buffet and you get beaten in the call-up. You know, they call you up by table by table.
Yeah. And they're in the table before you?
And David Taylor.
Yeah, you'd duck next door to McDonald's, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And
There'll be nothing
big
left for you.
Jamal. Jamal, Sam, Frank and David are sitting on the table and they get called before you. And they just wipe the whole lot out. The whole lot goes.
They might think field goal here if they haven't scored at the end of the set.
Reynolds. And dragged down by Nathan Fee. Play the ball. No, he won't.
You try and
He's
play
lost
it, you're
it.
not getting it.
He's lost it.
You're not getting it.
No way, James.
Chris, no. You can't milk and get the ball like that.
You've got to make an effort. You've got to make an effort. I know we're in Wollongong, but you've got to...
Be very careful. I'm just telling you. I'm going to give you the tip right now. Be very careful. Okay, I'll rule on. Time is off. Let's go, dogs.
Let's go, boys, get in.
The menace said to Chris James, I know we're at Wollongong, but fair dinkum. So little Chris had come here, he said, be very, very careful. Be very careful. By innuendo, using those words, I know we're at Wollongong. You're leaning their way, are you? Chrissy? So the menace has ruffled another set of feathers. And here's Young and away to Soward, and he goes long and beautifully directed to Vito. Vito will play the ball near the halfway. That's a bit better. Now Soward again. And then quick from Fred. On the boot then from Lattimore. Dean Young's had the ball stolen. Reynolds is away. Reynolds will get his second try of the night. Reynolds had scored just in front of half-time. The try that the Dragons did not need to see.
Yeah, well, if you wanted the definition of when your luck's out, your luck's out, have a look at this. This is just an absolute tragedy for the Dragons. A bad pass and a kick, trying to keep on it. Poor old Dean Young just hands the ball to Reynolds and he's off for the prize. The Keno replay, when your number's up, your number's up. And the number was up for the Dragons there. What a terrible state of affairs in the last couple of seconds before half-time. A bad pass, the foot goes out, lose the ball, and off they go.
Joshua Reynolds.
What's on Christian Inu's wristband here? Binny, B-I-N-I. He's got a little message to someone.
No, Beanie.
What's Binny?
Oh, it's I don't know, it's Pigeon or Fijian or Polynesian. It's something, Binny. I don't know.
You've got no idea.
I don't know.
Well, why did you interrupt me?
Well, why did you ask the question?
Well, I didn't ask you. I knew you wouldn't know the answer.
Here's the kick anyway. He's missed it. He's put that in the bin. He's put that in the binny. He's missed it. 22-6, close to half-time. In fact, it is half-time. Everybody's heading for the sheds. I was fooled by the fact they're all heading down towards the halfway, but in fact, that's where the sheds are here at Wollongong. No longer are they underneath us in the Western. So at half-time, it's 22-6 in favour of Canterbury, the Bulldogs. 22-6. So now, let's see if the youngsters from the South Coast and other areas in the Sydney metropolitan area can get them moving in the right direction in the second half. 22-6 at the break, a try coming just on half-time that they did not need. And Stagg it is for Canterbury, with the ball 21 metres out from the line. Ennis answering the call for Halatau, who says, my ball, and he takes it out 30 metres before the ball goes away to Cassiano. Pritchard was there. Keating gets it on. Morris is with the ball. And Jamie Soward makes the tackle together with the number 18 who's out there for the Dragons, Chase Stanley. So we've got the Stanley brothers who take it out there now. Or maybe Kyle has left the scene for the time being. We'll just check on that. Here's Keating now, getting a kick away, but it's a rebound that comes back to him. I don't know that yes, he's been deemed to have played at the ball, so it's 6 more for Canterbury.
Holding the 10, wide.
And they're on the 40-metre line, Dragons' end of the ground. And taking it ahead is Dean Halatau. 4 tries to Canterbury in that first half. Josh Reynolds got 2 of them, the first and the last. Now Ennis, he double pumps, goes to Keating, goes behind, Barber to Morris, and Morris is put away. He's aiming everything, Josh, at Soward, who's out there defending, as he always is. And here is Frank Pritchard to play the ball now. That's the 10-metre line where he is. So Canterbury not far off the line again. Graham runs across, gets it away. Reynolds puts a little kick in, and it's smothered into the ground by Jason Nightingale. So a line dropout will give the ball back to the men in blue and white.
It looks really simple, the Bulldogs' attacking game. It's just little pass to forwards, but it seems to put a lot of pressure on the defence line. And they're only short passes, they're very rapid fire, and the defence gets real nervous about it.
You be the best bloke to ask. Those little passes forward to forward, almost shoulder to shoulder they are. Is my mind tricking me, but that was back in Warren Ryan's day that he would do that with those very good sides he had.
Yeah, it's constructed very differently. These fellas stand side by side. Warren Ryan's coach sides would come from behind each other. But similar sort of philosophy that you're going to compress the line-up by just showing players with short passes, and you're trying to create spaces a little bit wider out, and that's what happens. They compress the line with short passes. Ball comes out the back, they find space.
Cassiano one-on-one here with Ben Cray, and they force him back. But Cray needed plenty of troops in there to help him. Ennis then gets it away. Graham run around Ennis, and then Keating, and now Barber. They'll score here. I think they might have won the race to the ball. It'll be Josh Morris's second try. They've pointed to the spot, the men in pink. So it's 26-6. The Dogs in front and going further in front.
And that's probably the best description of their attack. It is simple. Last tackle there, the run around to start it. Michael Ennis going behind James Graham. Chris Keating summed up the situation. Instead of kicking, on the Keno replay, you see Ben Barber actually puts it onto the boot, and he's a mile in front. Josh Morris always leading the race there. Got a hat-trick in round 2. He's 2/3 of the way of getting there tonight as well. And it was the Dragons who needed to score first if they were to get back into this football game. The Bulldogs, they're pulling away.
Speaking of Josh Morris and his 3 tries for the Dogs in round 2, he also scored 3 for the Dragons against the Dogs back in 2008. And more significantly is that on both occasions, those games between these two clubs were record victories for the club at that time. So he's destroyed Canterbury in the past, and now he's helping to destroy St George Illawarra.
It was the same little thing there, the run around. It just compresses up the inside part of the defence, and when the ball comes free of that, men on the outside have got to make decisions. The Dragons raced up there, and Barber read it well. Little kick in behind the line.
Joey, tell me about that wristband.
What are we doing there?
Joey's not with me at the moment. There's Krishnan.
Joey's in the afterglow, there's no doubt about that.
And on its way, it's looking good. It's hooking back, and it's perfect. Well, just about everything Krishnan does is perfect. Joey, news on the wristband, I think.
Yeah, well, firstly the try, Rabs. This is great play. Going wide to bring the defence up, and then Ben Barber puts the ball through on the Kuno replay. And the wristband, Binny, that's dedicated to his girlfriend, Robin. And on the other hand, it's mum and dad. So a bit of motivation there. And the injury report, Cole Stanley, he's got a groin strain. He won't be back for the night.
Brilliant sideline, very good sideline work by Andrew Johns.
Wonderful stuff. There's Kyle Stanley on the sideline now, and that denies him and brother Chase playing in the NRL for the first time together on the field at the same time. Chase Stanley, the youngest player ever to play for the St George Illawarra Dragons, made his debut at 17, or just under 18 years of age.
I think he was in James Cook High School.
Well, he was here, and then he went to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then came back up.
Yeah, but I think he came straight from James Cook High, and might have even been still at school. Andrew Voss would know. I remember him playing schoolboy football, and I think he got called up in the same year. Here is Brett Morris now.
And so far, Des Hasler has gone through this game 15 men, as we see Frank Pritchard.
Yeah, Frank's got his face in the dirt, so he's not very well.
I was about to say we haven't seen Martin Tatau or Corey Payne into the game as yet. Frank's not right. We may.
Make sure Daniel Vito plays the ball.
He's a bit dazed, Frank. He's looking up and thinking, what are all these people doing in my lounge room?
Frank Pritchard is very, very groggy and unsteady on his feet. He's taken a very heavy knock to the head, one would think, and it is the head of Chris Keating that gets him and puts him on the canvas. And now a couple of the trainers going to assist Frank from the field. So, Peter, you're talking about we hadn't seen Tapau or Payne. Which one's got the job coming his way?
Well, they're both on the sideline now. Looks as though, yep, they've both got cards in their hands, so it'll be a double change.
Oh, mate, you can start now, mate. Start now, he's out of play.
Right, here we go.
Paul Eastwood to come back into the game, and
Tapau's the man, yep.
So he's Ben Cray tackled right on halfway. And Nathan Fean across and turns it neatly inside to Dan Hunt, who got it out the bottom, you might say, to Ben Hornby. And Hornby to play the ball. 7 or 8 metres into Bulldogs territory. Dean Young working from the right across the back of the ruck and then meeting Sam Cassiano. From Fean, it's gone to the boot of Soward, and Soward sends it down, spiralling towards the entertainment centre end of the ground. And here is Barber, Mr. Electric. Here he comes, the button is turned on. Look at him, watch him. Can you see him? That's him. Right, we've got him. Just inside the 30-metre line, don't you? Don't you love watching him?
He beat a couple of blokes twice then. In that one.
Beautiful.
Eastwood on for Pritchard, Tapau on for Cassiano, and that's Martin's first touch.
So Martin Tapau, and he plays it near the halfway line, and big Graham, James Graham. Wonderful purchase from overseas, Keating to Stagg, and Stagg. He dropped the ball a bit low for Josh Morris, but he basketballed the thing back to Chris Keating, and he'll play the ball. 35 out, 5 tackles gone, Bulldogs. Ennis puts the ball high. Brett Morris has got an eye on it. He got it and he took it safely. His brother ran straight past him, and then he passed before a hand was put on him, and Nightingale, he tries to make a break, but the Blue and Whites have got players all over the park. If they only got 13 there, they're all over the place, swarming over the Dragons at the moment. And this is Vido, who's tackled just outside 20. 28-6 Bulldogs, third on the competition. Dragons coming into this were 10.
And at this stage in the last 3 seasons, the Dragons were sitting on top of the competition ladder.
They've made the finals 10 times of the 13 years they've been together, the joint venture, which is a wonderful record. 10 out of 13 years they've made the finals, the Dragons of St George Illawarra. But they are flirting with not playing football in September right now. Morris to Hornby. Hornby away, and Fean is there. Soward's there. Left foot kick. It looks for Vido. Vido will score. My goodness, that's a good try. Oh yeah, put that in the frame. Put that in the frame. It's good stuff.
And that's what they'll need to call on. That was ad-lib, running it on the last tackle, left-hand side, a couple of inside passes. A little bit of doubt about the second one possibly, but it was called play on. That one's fine. Brett Morris. And then Ben Hornby looked for support. He found Nathan Fean, who found Jamie Soward. Last tackle, he saw Daniel Vido call for the football, and the widest man was unable to make the tackle, and Vido gets the football down in the corner.
That is a brilliant try. Soward, nobody was happier with the result than he, because he played a major part. 20 out on the T-junction, but he's hooked it too hard. Daniel Vido getting the try for St George Illawarra. New haircut and a brilliant finish. Andrew, sideline.
Yeah, you're right, Sterlo. Perhaps a bit of ad-lib footy on the Kuno replay. Everyone expecting them to kick. They ran the ball. Have a look at this for a kick. This is beautiful play. Enterprising play. They're behind. You think they're going to go down. You may as well go down swinging. Look at that. Beautiful kick. Vido over in the corner.
Where did that come from?
Kick-off is big. They're not worried about what happened to the Dragons when they tried to use the wind. It's not a strong wind. That was about 3 metres inside the baseline. And looks like Daniel Hunt bringing it out to the 20-metre line. And the penalty goes to St George Illawarra. You'd hear them singing out, penalty. And that's Frank Pritchard in the recovery unit after copping the head of Chris Keating. That was a wonderful try, Gus.
That was a brilliant try. Marvellous. And a tremendous little kick at the end of it by Jamie Soward. He really is talented.
Marketo holding nothing back. Taken by Hallertau. Hunt going away, picking up Trent Merrin. So Trent will play the ball 25 metres away from the Dogs line. Feen shows it. Feen and pulled down. Losing the ball, the referee ordering a knock-on. Did he say both ways?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, Nathan Feen trying to burst through, lost possession, through the dummy. Josh Reynolds comes in and out it pops. And Ben Barber wasn't expecting Reynolds to pass this to him, but they get it anyway.
Come on, Dogs, let's go. Let's get it sorted.
Come back. One step back.
He's given the ball, the feed, he's given it to Canterbury. I just thought it might have been raked out from Nathan Feen, and it may have gone back, which in turn, well, anyway, they got no advantage anyway. But here's Canterbury with the ball, 20 metres out from their own line, played by David Stagg. I would imagine why you would use him off the bench, but who am I to question Des Hasler? He's got this team going magnificently. Chris Keating. Looking at some of these players, Chris Keating, his career looked to have come to a standstill. Inu's career looked to be in tatters. Jonathan Wright's gone ahead. It's just unbelievable. The form that some of these players have found, I don't know whether it's Hasler or not, but it's certainly, his name is the common denominator.
It's also nice to have competition for spots, and that's what Chris Keating realises. He's got Trent Hodkinson now back snapping at his heels. To stay where he is, he has to continue to produce. There's Trent in the dugout.
Marketo. I love the work he's doing tonight. Now Craig Young and then Ben Hornby, and now back to Beau Scott. DeBellin, is he injured, Doug? Speaking of youngsters who have got a wrap on, he's got a massive wrap on DeBellin. I think where he is tonight. Here is Scott. Lofted back to Feen. Running onto the ball is Cooper, isn't it? Hornby. Now Cooper. And Cooper's not held. He'll have another go. And Matt Cooper for the line. He's short. Feen is getting plenty of instructions. Dean Young onto Soward. Soward gets the ball away. Brett Morris should score. Brett Morris does score. So it's another Morris try. This time to Brett Morris. 3 for the brothers tonight.
And that try was set up by the play before. There must have been 12 passes thrown, and we mentioned that if they're to get out of trouble, this is what they need to resort to. Great little offload there from Dan Hunt. They keep it alive. Ben Hornby goes across field. Beau Scott, he gets an offload away. Back to Nathan Feen. On to Ben Hornby, slips through a tackle. And Matt Cooper. Josh Reynolds goes over the top, so he's got every right to get up and continue on. And the next play, they knew they had numbers to the left. And Brett Morris, one-on-one, improves the position.
The Dragons are fighting back. 28-16, and I think about that steal from Reynolds on Dean Young just prior to half-time. It's really coming back to haunt you if you follow St George Illawarra. Dean Young is a wonderful player, and for him to have the ball stolen and then embarrassingly a try scored off it, it's 28-16 now.
And on the back of that, Ray, that early try in the second half to the Bulldogs, which was relatively soft as well, so points either side of the break really hurt them. They're warming to the task.
Well, there's 23 minutes of the match remaining, and Beau Scott has got up, clutching the sternum. That is Chase Stanley now, taking it up towards halfway. Feen out to Young, on to Hornby, behind to Morris. Oh, that's a good pass. Brett, he's lost the ball, and it's on the ground. Stack's on the mill, and he's going to order a knock on. And he'll give the feed to Canterbury Bankstown.
Yeah, something was brewing there for the Dragons, and it just needed a good pass from Brett Morris, and the ball will slip from his grasp there. It goes off without it. And Reynolds will pick it up and knock it on. Look, they had space out here too. Just needed a good pass here to get them on the outside to Cooper. He would have had 2-on-1.
Sorted.
And they're off down the left, and the ball just slipped
Let's go, come on.
out of his hands. Unlucky.
That's not going on the highlights reel, that one.
So a bit closer,
It was a shocker from a bloke that just finished off a wonderful try for the Dragons.
Well, in the last 10 minutes, they're running harder and faster than the Bulldogs are. The Bulldogs got out to a big lead, and it's softened them up a little bit. They lost their intensity, and the Dragons are saying they're not going to give up. They're going to keep coming.
This is Tapau. And he'll play the ball in the middle of the ground. They're 35 out. Graham had it on his shoulder. And he'll play the ball 30 metres out from the line. It's gone away to Keating. It's with David Stagg now. And Stagg is cut down in a good tackle from Trent Merrin. Ennis using the 16, Corey Payne. And they're 15 away. 15 away from the southern line, and here is Reynolds with a little kick, but it's been marked by Martingale. He came forward out of the in-goal to mark it and play the ball, and Cooper goes bouncing off. A shoulder charge that was just a little bit misdirected. Merrin now out towards the 20. Will they look now more like an inspired football team? Almost looked like they didn't want to be here at the start of the game. Now they're playing razzle-dazzle, and they're looking great. The interest factor has gone right through the roof. Fiend playing the ball, and he goes way, way back for Sauer to kick, and he puts this massive torpedo punt down to Barber. He's coming over 20. He's out towards 30. He runs around away from Scott. He runs away from Stanley. He runs away from Sauer. Barber, Mr. Electric, down that left touchline. Oh, brilliant stuff to watch. Just absolute speed. Stagg, Ennis, just ducked at the right time. He almost had Dan Hunt's elbow as an emblem on his forehead. Here's Graham with the ball. And Graham, he'll play the ball 10 out. This all started with Barber, don't forget. Now it's come back to Reynolds. It's gone out to Chris Naninu, and he goes to ground. Plays it 11 out. And here goes Jonathan Wright over towards the centre of the ground. He flicks out the back. Tolman's got the ball. Tolman put down. 2 metres out from the line. The player back to the captain. Ennis sweeps it away for Keating to kick it. Into that corner they go, and down they come with it, and Chase Stanley. No, it's Vito.
All the way back,
Daniel is sprinting out to the middle of the 20-metre line.
That was electrifying from Benny Barber, wasn't it? And here's a penalty here to the Dragons. Good start by Vito. Got out there quickly and caught them offside.
On the line,
but Benny Barber, absolutely brilliant speed. And watch what he does here to Jamie Sauer. Just from the stand there, he just goes straight past him with the right foot and a bit of a swerve.
He was getting faster the further he went.
I am just mesmerised by Ben Barber. And with the lack of elevation we've got here, he was hard to see with the backdrop of the crowd behind him. We've got the view of a worm, really, from here at this elevation. And Ben Barber was hard to pick up, but Mark Dodds and George Illawarra were finding him hard to pick up as well.
You're not happy with your commentary box, are you?
Oh, no, well, this is only temporary. When we go up to the elevated ones, it'll be fantastic. Here's the ball to Hornby. Here's Brett Morrison again. He spins out of a tackle, gets it back to Matt Cooper, back to Nathan Fiend, drops it back to Matt Cooper, gives it to Ben Hornby. Hornby shows it once, gives it to Soward. Soward heads over towards the corner. Soward's still going. He calls on Vito. Vito's pulled down. 3 metres out from the line. Can the Dragons score again? Chase Stanley, Jamie Sauer, he puts the kick in. Ben Hornby's taken out in back play. This will be interesting. It's going to be a penalty. Michael Ennis has taken his opposite captain out.
You go, mate. Just not yet, not yet. Wait till he's right there, Johnny. Right, mate.
Yeah, not much doubt about that. They're still on the attack here, the Dragons.
And Trent Merrin will play the ball. 5 metres away. Try here for the Dragons, and we could have one hell of a game. Penalty Dragons. One hell of a finish, I should say. Fiend to Hornby. Hornby inside ball. Cooper sees a little top and tries to squeeze through it. But he can't. He's closed down by Tolman. Fiend gives it away. Oh, there's a good ball there. Gone out to Makedo from Dean Young. Makedo playing the ball. 2 metres out from the line. Nathan Fiend, Jamie Soward across Ben Hornby. Brett Morris gets it away. Matt Cooper. Now Jason Nightingale. Nightingale comes back, puts a little kick in. Was he checked in running? The ball has gone dead.
Well,
Canterbury taken dead.
Well, they're going 3 to the Bulldogs 1 now. What's happened here? What has happened here? All of a sudden, there's one team playing, and the other team look like they're in quicksand. Plenty of ball movement, side to side. Players are actually starting to attack holes and back themselves. There's offloads coming to keep the ball alive. That's better.
So this dropout, look at this dropout from Inu. It was 60 metres on the fly, and Dan Hunt takes it back to the 40-metre line.
But the great thing about it too, Ray, it was high. And that hang time they talk about gave the chasers time to get down there. But Trent Merrin back on the inside now. In the 30, they've had a lot of football the last couple of minutes.
He's been good tonight, Trent Merrin. Nathan Fiend has sort of sparked the Dragons. Ben Cray tackled. Middle ground, 22 metres out. 3 tackles gone for them now. As it goes across to Dean Young, Jamie Soward. Here's Marketo. And he's pulled down by Michael Ennis low. David Stagg up the top. And again from Fiend, Young, and Young to Hornby. And Hornby dummies, double pumps, and it goes long out to Nightingale. He comes to Inu. He gets away from him, knocked down by Canterbury. Cooper will score. Cooper scores for the Dragons. They would have got 6 more anyway. But Cooper has scored for the Dragons.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. And the Dragons realised they had a lot of points to catch up. And the old game plan went out the window. Come to the left-hand side. It's actually touched on a couple of occasions. That's touched there by Kristen Inu, so it was 6 again there. And then when Jason Nightingale tried to get a pass away, it was also hit. And Matt Cooper was able to pick it up. Jonathan Wright couldn't stop him. We have a very important conversion coming out from Jamie Soward. And one thing in this game that is difficult to do is to stop the opposition momentum when they gather it. And the Dragons have it.
Well, that's right. It's hard enough to win a game once. Now the Bulldogs have got to try and win it again because the Dragons are all over them. I cannot believe the change in this contest. I said in the first half, we've seen sides get out to a good lead and the other side came back. The Dragons were showing no indication of a comeback whatsoever. And all of a sudden, razzle-dazzle. Jamie Soward, big kick. He's got to put it straight down the middle here and get the crowd on their feet.
Soward's kick, oh, it's drifted, it's coming, oh, it's hit the upright and bounced away. So Matt Cooper scores his 120th try in club football, 28-20. And still Canterbury enjoying that buffer as we look at the try on replay. And that's where they would have got another set, but Cooper goes over to score. And here's the kick. And taking the flag almost off the top of the upright. Well, this comeback is reminiscent of South doing it to the Dragons here last year. Did you just say that?
No, I didn't.
So the Canterbury side restarting, and it's the Dragons bringing it back 15 out from the line.
It's an extraordinary turnaround.
Here's Ben Cray, picked up and dumped on his back.
Can't believe I'm watching the same game.
Now for Dan Hunt. Playing the ball on his own 30-metre line. Being young. I tell you what, if they had have continued in the same vein as they started in, it would have been hard to get even the Army to come back and watch them. The Red and White Army I'm talking about. Brett Morris off an outside-inside ball. Scooped up by Young, given away by Hunt, gone on to Soward, speed to Burn, goes towards Vito, and they're going to try and put him into touch, are they? They're going to try and walk him, but the held call is there. Played on halfway, the last, so the kick is gone. Well, not really, Hornby's there, he can kick, and then Barber takes it. He always makes it look spectacular. Here he is coming back. He's come 15 away, and he'll be held inside 20. So Chase Stanley makes the tackle in combo there with Marchetto.
Well, what's the Bulldogs' attitude here? Are they thinking they've got to score again? Are they going to be aggressive, or do they start to protect this 8-point buffer with only 12 minutes left to go? And if they try to protect the 8 points, they probably play into the hands of the Dragons.
This is Tolman, and they rattled him up. Merrin's been very good for the Dragons tonight, and not just in the resurgence either. Payne got that ball away to another player to take the tackle. It was Reynolds. Now it comes onto the boot of Inu, and he rakes it across the ground. Oh, gee, that's a good take over there by Vido. That was never going to be easy. And Daniel comes back and is tackled outside 30.
He made something very difficult look pretty easy there, didn't he? And it's a shame for the Dragons that Jamie Soward couldn't put that conversion over. To be 6 behind and know that you're a converted try away from going into golden point at worst, if you can score them. Now they've got to score twice, and that's tough.
Hornby trying to generate Cray down that left side.
In regular time, I mean.
So Fiend goes over to Young and then back to Hunt, and Hunt runs straight into Tolman. Tolman and Graham are both out there. The ball came out and it's gone from Fiend and gone on to Young, and he did well. He gave it to Soward. Soward rolls one in, rubbering into the in goal, taken by Barber. Line drop out. Oh, they've really had an injection of life, haven't they?
Well, they got it on a string. Every pass is sticking. Everyone's moving. They're energetic. It's extraordinary. They're funny creatures, footballers, aren't they? Gone down and out, disinterested, doing nothing 1 minute. The next minute, absolutely rampaging, bristling with energy and enthusiasm, and showing us all the skill in the world.
So Inu, this time he doesn't quite get it. In fact, he's almost missed it.
There wasn't as much hang time on that one, right?
Exactly. It was a very ordinary drop kick from Krishnan Inu. His previous went 60. They've been tackled down on the 30. This is a good situation for the Dragons. And Dan Hunt has picked up and put down. No gaining ground. A wasted tackle, if you like. Fiend, dummy half to Dean Young. He gets it away. Hornby goes back. Brett Morris joins in. Matt Cooper's with the ball. Dances off the left foot. Gives it to Ben Cray. Shows it outside him. Tries to go through. Tolman closes the door with Graham, the two polar bears. Now it's gone from Fiend, gone on to Young. Young on to Hornby. Hornby to Marchetto. And Marchetto is 9 away. The Dragons coming home the better. The pass is awful from Nathan Fiend. Dan Hunt did well for a big man. He picked it up and takes the tackle. This is the last. Soward folds around, puts a kick out. He's looking for Cooper, and Nightingale has been batted in goal and dead again. Line drop out time once more.
Good work here by Jamie Soward. The previous play, the ball was a bad one, or they lost ground on it, and Soward goes from the right-hand side of the field, realises he'll be needed on the last play. There's Soward, he's way over to the right, comes back to the left, eats up the metres, and then again, with that delicate little left foot kick, gets it up there for Nightingale, puts pressure on the opposition, and Wright has got to knock it dead. He can open a safe with that left foot, Jamie Soward.
Inu, and it's got plenty of hang time, and it's got 50 metres of length in it. And now it's Merrin coming back, and Graham tried to give him the old shoulder. And here it is, laid back onto the ground, bouncing to Fiend, gone to Young, Young taken.
They look punched at the Bulldogs.
Now Fiend, up towards the 20-metre line, and Dean Young has done some very good things on his 200th appearance. Now it's come away and it's gone to Hornby. Numbers in motion. Cray's pass went to ground. Cooper couldn't handle it. It was a horror pass, really, and I think it might have got struck by Canterbury at the same time.
They had him. Cray was pulling through the line, probably went to pass too early. He just didn't quite have control of it, and he didn't have to be that quick because he was through the line. He had his man beat, and Cooper was going to come through behind Inu and get into space.
And that's exactly what Ben Cray wanted, Krishnan Inu to come up quickly on the outside, and he slid through.
Josh Reynolds was the man that did the damage to Ben Creagh, although more importantly, Ben did it to himself. Get ready for the biggest 2 nights of the year in the live grand finale of The Voice. Who will be the first ever Voice of Australia? Don't miss the live grand finale Sunday and Monday at 7:30.
Who's your pick, Leonard?
I think Carice will win.
Oh, I'm a Carice fan.
Josh Morris with the ball. Well, that's probably put the hex on Carice if you've come with me.
She wins.
Tolman playing it just outside the 30-metre line. Then Stagg, now Eastwood.
How good was Seal on Origin there?
I thought it was Rendell Saylor. Played by Eastwood. No, he was good. And he really got out there and met up with the crowd, put himself amongst the crowd. And here's Reynolds kicking, and he's down. It'll be a penalty back where the ball landed. Ben Creagh is the man. Creagh has been deemed to have put a dangerous tackle together on the kicker.
It's just what they didn't need. He sort of backs into him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much wrong with that.
I don't think there was either, but at the same time, that's the word they centre their focus on, and that's the amount of danger that the kicker is placed under. I can only tell you that's what they're saying in the indicators that they put out every year.
It's a bad one. It's come at a real bad time. It stops the Dragons' momentum and gives the Bulldogs an opportunity to maybe toast a try and close this one out.
And if they don't score points, roll it into the in-goal area. They've had no football in the last 10 minutes. Now they've got an opportunity to get a couple of consecutive sets if they don't get the points.
Played by Tolman. It's gone away. Oh, Greg Eastwood, he got a mongrel of a ball for a big forward. And Beau Scott comes up with the ball inside the 20-metre line, down his own end. Young passes the ball along the line to Hornby. And Hornby will play it on the 30. Taken by Dean Hallertau, and Josh Reynolds now goes to Ben Creagh, and he'll play the ball. And he's right on the 40-metre line, but there's meters to be going all over the park at the moment. Here they go again, hot potato football. Oh, he's ruled that forward. Chris James has said forward pass. Jamie saying you're kidding. Off the hands. Might have looked forward in conclusion, but off the hands, I'm not sure. Here it is again, watch it.
Well, he was trying to throw the ball to the outside of Morris to give Stanley some free rein there, and it just slipped forward a little bit. The intention was good. Execution not so good.
I've got my doubts about that.
I think it's
okay.
Fine.
I think it's okay. I'm not going to have an argument with you about it, but if you read the rules, it hasn't left the hands forward. It's floated forward, but it didn't leave the hands forward. That's all I'm saying. Do you want to argue about it?
You said you didn't want to argue.
Well, I just make the point you'll be arguing with yourself.
You're arguing with yourself.
Thank you. 30 metres out now from the Dragons line. Will it ever end? Tolman. Ennis. Back to Graham. And Graham to the middle of the ground. And play the ball. He's a very, very good footballer. Play back to Ennis and then to Reynolds and now to Hallertau. It just struck me they've got their smallest team on the park at the moment, I'd say. All of the big boppers are gone. Frank concussed. Here's the kick by Reynolds. And there's Soward taking the ball, and then he's tackled in goal by Eastwood.
When they contacted you.
That's a clever kick from Josh Reynolds. He's had a fine game again this evening. Scored a couple of tries, but he's provided plenty of bigger fight, and that's
Look out. Oh,
why didn't you let it go?
Jonathan Wright, that ball was going out on the full. Why they don't stand on the perimeter, on the extremity, I don't know.
Well, he was still running back before the ball was kicked. He turned around and the kick was already on its way. And I don't think he knew his bearings on the sideline.
Okay. Here's Ennis, now Reynolds, now Hallertau.
And the most important thing was for his side to get the football, and he managed to do that.
So they go back to the middle of the ground and they pick up Tolman. And Tolman will play it 11 out, and they're really punching home now with Graham for the line, the big fella. He's so close, but not quite close enough. James Graham. He's underneath that maul of players. And Ennis comes deep. Reynolds puts a little kick out towards Krishnan. There's the bat back to Jonathan Wright. And Wright is taken into touch.
He's got into touch first. It's a change over here.
They're going to come back to 10 metre for the changeover. It's not a 20 metre restart. It was in the field of play going into touch.
So 2.5 minutes of the game remaining. He's looking at the record for the Dragons in Golden Point, thinking this game may have got to Golden Point a few minutes ago. They visited Golden Point 9 times for 1 victory. That's all now become irrelevant, but it was starting to look horribly relevant. This barnstorming finish, and they get a penalty now off the 30-metre line. Soward goes for all that he can find. Sunday from Leichhardt Tigers up against Roosters. That will be a great atmosphere on Sunday. Let's hope that the big fella upstairs gives us a nice day. Played by Marketo. Here's Merrin again, and he's rattled up by Eastwood. The ball back to Rain. And Rain, who hasn't played a lot of minutes tonight, if I'm right, I tend to think the coach has gone to Nathan Feen to keep inspiring them. Here is Hornby, back to Soward, back to Cooper. There's the old Michael Cronin bat along the line. Brett Morris, Jamie Soward. Now back to Dan Hunt. Following him was Mitch Rain, but he's tackled 10 metres out from the line. So the Dragons in the last few seconds of the game, and Ben Hornby on his knees looking around for a runner. Played back to Mitch Rain. He goes across and dropped by Merrin. Might be dropped backwards, doesn't matter. Eastwood has jumped on it anyway to the advantage of the Bulldogs.
That was super defence there from the Bulldogs. They were coming at pace, close to the line. They got bodies there in number. Josh Morris has had another fine game. I was about to say earlier, he was an unsung hero for New South Wales. I know they had plenty of them. And anytime you come away from an Origin game saying that Greg Inglis have been pretty well contained, that speaks volumes. And he was the main reason for that. There he is lining up again for his second touch in this 6.
So the siren, just a matter of 10 seconds away, with James Graham pulled down. In fact, it was Aidan Tolman, and it's gone back now to be picked up by Josh Reynolds. And he puts a towering kick straight over my head, and it's gone, I think, out into Harbour Street.
Had some hang time, that one.
That's landed in the Steelers Leagues Club. So that's the end of it, 28-20. And this has been a phenomenal second half, and unbelievable in many ways. And if you've been with us since the start, I would imagine many of you might have even left us during the early exchanges because the Dragons were awful. But then they've come back, they've given us a wonderful piece of entertainment to go down eventually to the Bulldogs, 28-20. The Dogs, Reynolds got 2, Josh Morris got 2, Inu got 1, and for the Dragons, Stanley, Vido, Brett Morris and Cooper shared the tries. So the Morris twins got 3 between them. Josh, of course, continuing on a magnificent week with a double tonight after a wonderful Origin game.
This has been a presentation.
A 22-6 lead at halftime for the Bulldogs made to look even more formidable. Just 4 minutes into the second stanza. Last tackle option, well worked by the Bulldogs, and a little kick from Ben Barber gave Josh Morris his second of the evening. But then we saw the kind of football that got the Dragons back into this game. In the 49th minute, a wonderful set involving 5 or 6 different sets of hands. A perfect kick at the end of that from Jamie Soward for Daniel Vido to start the comeback. That was 28-10. And then 6 minutes later, left-hand side play, Jamie Soward on to Brett Morris. Big sidestep to beat Kristen Inu. Took it around next to the post. and all of a sudden it was 28-16, just 2 converted tries behind. And then in the 65th minute, a cut-out pass was knocked down by Krishnan Inu. It was fielded by Jason Nightingale. He went to pass the football. Jonathan Wright got a touch, and Matt Cooper couldn't believe his luck to dive over. The conversion was missed by Jamie Soward, and that gave us our 28-20 final scoreline. Andrew Johns is with tonight's best.
And the clean-up with Kuno, $1,000 man of the match. Goes to Bulldogs 5'8", Josh Reynolds. Josh, you're enjoying yourself. You're getting a few of these, mate. You're really enjoying your footy.
Yeah, that's actually my first one, mate. To tell you the truth. Nah, but mate, yeah, the footy's great, mate. Like, not really happy with that second half, but yeah, like you said, the footy's been good, mate.
What happened at half time? You come out in the second half, that flat, they come back at you.
Yeah, mate, we knew they were going to come out. You know, it was a big occasion for them coming back to their home ground, and Dean Young 200th game, and we said we were going to come out and match them, but we obviously didn't. So we just definitely want to go back to the drawing board and see where we went wrong.
Sam Cassiano, I'm going to ask you about him. 133 kilos, plays like a halfback. You marvel at his skill?
Mate, he's unbelievable. Like, when he goes off the field, you can definitely tell the difference. You know, he's just got that punch, and like you said, he's got that tip on in him, and he's just a massive player of the future, mate.
Well, $1,000 from Kuno. You've won 3 of them this year. Please agree with me.
Yeah, 3. Thanks, Keno, and thanks, Channel 9.
Good on you, mate.
Thank you.
Yes, Andrew, that name, that surname, it's quite common, isn't it? But Josh is probably waiting for the cheque to arrive on the other 2 occasions. Anyway, there it is. A wonderful performance by Josh Reynolds here tonight. And by that fellow too, Sam Cassiano. Look at the big unit. He's got a massive future, Josh said. He's got a massive frame as well. Let's go now to the match up in the north, to Townsville, and it's the Cowboys up against the Broncos.